I had a really interesting thing happen in my early years of being in the mainland. When I got to the mainland, there were very, very few foreigners. And shall we say that due to the recent history of that country, people were not very worldly. And so wherever you would go, people would follow you, just follow you like a crowd. And as I've probably told you before, you could turn to them in very good Chinese, introduce yourself, and sort of say, be polite, and be like, see how Chinese I am? And they'd look at you the exact same way. The whole time. It never changed. It was amazing. We used to laugh and say the fly would go in, make a couple of circles, and fly back out. You know, just like. Or, after a while, that gets really, really annoying. And so you think, you know, I've tried being polite. I've tried ignoring them. You start acting like an ape. And you start just being totally silly in front of them. No change. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I did. I was just this one thing to them that they looked at but had no judgment about. It was just like, we're watching this. I was young, and so you start dating. And I had the most interesting thing happen to me once. I ended up with a Chinese girlfriend, and there was a group of us. And she was kind of sorting out the foreigners. And I got sorted. And then one day she looked at me and she said, you know, I think you're actually pretty good looking. Okay, right? She goes, you know, I couldn't figure out which foreigner I was going to date because, you know, you all look the same. This is not going well for her, right? And she's like, you know, you just, like, I couldn't tell. Like, you all look identical to me. And then only now, as I've gotten to know you, I see that, okay, your skin is different than that guy's. And she was like saying to the guy, like we're in a meat market or a store somewhere, and she's like, well, that one's got this and there. And it was just like, wow. There was no, in the choosing, I got chosen, it had nothing to do with my appearance. Nothing at all. We were all equally unattractive or just non-attractive or a weird species or whatever was going on. And that really woke me up to this because at the same time I was all in this time with Professor Wong going this, there. And it occurred to me that if you have a dog or you meet a golden retriever, that dog does not care if you are ugly or handsome, male or female. That dog just sees person and wants to play. And that's really what we're talking about. I mean, we're all thinking like, well, beauty, revulsion, people. It's so narrow-minded because it's like this interspecies one thing, whereas the rest of the world doesn't care. The animals don't care. My dog doesn't care. My neighbors don't care. All of these things, it's a completely irrelevant fact for almost everything, and yet we're so focused on this whole idea of beauty and non-beauty, of ugliness and attractiveness. And that's a bad pair of shoes, and this is a good pair of shoes. And that's an expensive gown, and that's not. And